Did I answer your question?
Yeah.
So I just wanted to ask actually to the audience really, is there much development of location-based services in India? Is that something that's developing on those 44,000 different operating systems now?
Things like friend finder kind of thing definitely is popular. It's application-based content. And the other one, which is now mandated by the Department of Telecom, is ability to locate a user to a fairly high degree of accuracy. Right now, the mandate is for selected phones, which is what they call as suspect phones. But in 3 years, the mandate is that every mobile phone should be locatable to 20 meters of accuracy. And then whatever value-added applications one can create on top of that, could be over-the-top location or it could be operator-assisted location. One could go ahead and develop it.
It is not every mobile, only selected mobile. It's much more difficult to do it every mobile. It's a mobile that the government
Yes, that's what.
Wants.
Correct. That's what I said. Suspected mobile for now, but 3 years down the line, every mobile. That's the mandate, but let's see how it goes.
Comment here, see, make sure I understand. My perception from about a year ago, certainly when talking to people about the challenge for the newspaper industry here, because what you have to remember is in the UK and in Europe, newspaper circulation has declined, print media in deep distress, and so print newspaper as a medium is going to be gone. And the first people who have been affected by local newspapers, so the regional newspapers across Europe. And so the hypermedia initiative, the TSB and other things in the UK, was really a reaction to try and help some of the local media organizations whose businesses were dying. The number of regional print things has just dropped dramatically. Now, in India, as I understood it, last time I looked, in fact, people are setting up new print newspapers. Yeah, it's an expanding market. Yeah, and so my question is, I'm not sure how relevant really hyperlocal media is in the Indian context, or whether it has to be looked at in a different way. Any observations from the floor?
Where literacy is at a turning point, and the household television density which is there in the country is also at a exponential pace. So we have close to about 80% of the country which now watches TV. So that's remarkable compared to let's say 5% of Indians who are there on the internet.
Can you also say for everybody who you are?
Yeah, I'm Professor Junjunwala from IIT Madras. India is a very different country. 1.2 billion people. There are two things happening in India, and if you do not understand two separate markets, one market is precisely the growing market. The number of people who used to read newspaper used to be about 100 million people, and suddenly it has become 500 million people, and that's a growing market. There is a fairly large number of people now who read newspapers. So newspaper is expanding. On the other hand, the internet is expanding. Today it is 100 million. Tomorrow very soon it's likely to be 200 million people using internet. So India is a place where both these markets can exist at least for quite some time, because there is going to be the 300, 400 million people who will be going after newspaper, and there will be a couple of 100 million people. Now, the other thing that's of course happening very quickly is that almost all newspapers in India are already online and delivered today on mobile phones and things like that. So where India is going to move is in the next 4 or 5 years, assuming that the growth in India continues, is something that is difficult to predict. But I would sort of certainly say that there is something that kind of things that he's talking about is there is a market for the top 100 million people. The numbers are large. And if you take UK, it's a UK sitting every place. So that's what you have to. And the affordability of the top 100 million people is similar to the UK. So you have a UK in India. You have something else. And I think any time one thinks of markets in India, one has to think through. Assuming, of course, we continue to not get stagnant and grow. That of course, is a big if. The last 1 year has been a little jolt, but things again have been moving in a different direction.
talking about the print media generally, the ecosystem of the print media all over the world, is that the print media is rising in the East and setting in the West, irrespective of, which country or whatever it is. It's basically rising in the East and setting in the West. That's the way the print media is.
I'm going to sing.
No.
Okay. So one of my questions, in fact, it might be, thank you for persistent. Do you see a lot of newspaper companies coming to you to acquire technology, new platforms, printing?
Not to us, but
Yeah.
I'm sure, like what Professor was saying,
Yeah.
newspapers are going online. I mean, they are providing all their content on the web today, and as well as delivering it on the mobile. So that's happening. Though we are not part of that
Okay.
ecosystem.
Right. Okay. Great. If no other questions, I think the next on is PK Online. Viraj?